What's up, guys? How are you guys doing this evening? I know we're a little early this evening. Let's see. So, I was trying to check out gold here. Looks like we have a couple ledges on gold. That one work? So, yeah, it looks like it probably would have got tagged in there. Let's see. Let me get the pivots kind of lined out here. So what is that? 696. So we're pretty much still back inside that 660 range. I mean, we've been trying to get above that most of the day here, I think. Oh, wait, no, we're not. We actually got through that, and we're up to the next resistance. Okay. So we did finally get through those 560s this evening. It looks like at the close, man, it just went straight up. Freaking 300 points. That's an insane move for end of the day there. Wow. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive with that big move. Yeah, I know we're off a little bit on our what's up, Two-Ton? I know we're a little early to our stream tonight. It's just I have somewhere I have to go later tonight around 9 o'clock my time. So we're just trying to hop on a little bit earlier than I'd usually do. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more movement at this time, but man, we're just kind of grinding here. There is a couple ledges on gold for anybody that likes to take gold trades. What is that? That's almost a 40-point move in between those, so that's pretty big. How does your day go today, Two-Ton? You entered to buy here? Nice. Let me see what's right there. I'm not really sure. 61. If we can get through maybe that 61. I'm not really sure. I mean, I would think that we would have another push back up to the 700s. If we can get through this was a lot of support and resistance from the other night around that, what is it, around that 664. That would be your midnight opening. $275 looks like the next resistance up. Looks like there's about 5 or 6 candle. You did good this morning. Yeah, I just had the one trade that we took a loss on this morning. I got to the, I was all in on these shorts this morning on the move down, but man, I got to the move just one candle too early. Uh-oh. All right, so you said because I did my analyst based on the weekly time frame, and there was a bounce that you could check. Okay, so there was a bounce like on the weekly candle. Yeah, how often do these come up? Like I've heard other people bring up like the. I mean, I guess that would be a nice setup if you got patience to sit there and wait on those bigger moves. Can you go in a lot heavier whenever you're kind of targeting those weekly or monthly candles or even daily candles? You would think that this would be the pullback into this area here for us to push back up, say 5 or 10 points. That's pretty good. I'm glad you guys had nice mornings. Let's see. Well, what the crap? So for the Bulls, you almost need this to kind of hold up. You would need to, like, if anything, pull back no probably deeper than the 30s here. You would even like to see the 60% of this actual leg hold, then try to push back up to make new highs here. Yeah, I didn't really make a whole bunch of profit on my fundeds. One funded was a little red, the other two were green, but it was a very just not the great. I mean, it wasn't like horrible, but it wasn't great day. So I've like came into this week looking to just kind of stay, just trying to stay safe with my fundeds. If I make a mistake with eval, I make a mistake with eval, but with my fundeds, I'm trying to keep my fundeds safe, just because I'm trying to get through this week. Tomorrow, I really don't know what to expect with tomorrow, because tomorrow a lot of those option contracts come to an end. So if you trade options, that's kind of coming to an end tomorrow. So fairly deep little pullback here. You kind of want to see this area hold here. I'll have to check out that weekly thing that you're talking about, Saint. For the lower pullback, you're looking at a pullback all the way down to the 603s. So yeah, for that trend line break, that would be back below the 600. And I've seen us easily push down and kind of bounce off those levels. That would be back down there around the previous day close and the previous day open for anybody that follows those levels. Yeah, we haven't even made very much ground on our fundeds this week, man. We're still, let's see. One funded, we still need $1,100 because we kind of took those back to back losses. The other funded, I still need $8,000, or 900 or so. It looks like, because I'm at 52,674. One, I'm at 26,495. Then the other at 25,437. So that's kind of where we're sitting at on our funded accounts at the moment. We are still working on a Lucif account, so hopefully eventually we'll get another Lucif account pass. Mm. Still not sure if we're going to move down here. I'm going to go to break even fairly quick on that one, because I'm not sure if we're going to run the lows here. Okay, that thing went back there quick. I was kind of looking to see if we are going to get that pushed out to the 603s or 615s. I still feel like we get a deeper pullback since we're kind of breaking. If we can't break back over the 50%, if you pull that, what do you want to call it, the fib on this leg here. This going to the downside. Yeah, I wanted to kind of go a lot quicker because I didn't really want to get stuck in no kind of pullback or drawdown. So we're going to go to break even just kind of fast, because last night we kind of got trapped in a trade early last night, Natty. We kind of FOMO'd in it early off a support and resistant level that I was looking for. You would think that we would have a decent pullback since the fact that we went up freaking 300 points at the close. I mean, that's an insane move for the close. Dude, the death candle was on fire tonight. How was your trading day, Natty? Did you have a fairly decent trading day? This week has been a tough week of trading. So I've been just trying to survive all week without doing any like crazy damage to my accounts. It's been a very tough week. Tough, tough, tough. Two trades. Nice. I think we had 3 this morning on the fundeds. The first one was a loss and the next 2 were winners. So we were about 1 move too early to the breakout, and I couldn't withstand that drawdown because it ended up pulling back like 80 points, and I just could not hold a 80-point move back to the upside. All right, so I don't see how we don't go to the least 6000s or 601s here, or even down to the 617s. So here comes the 25. So we're about to have, what, 30 seconds? Most of the time during New York, we're using just kind of support and resistance. I don't really, similar to the same kind of in the Asia market, but Asia market's kind of different. I'm kind of up and down with the Asian market. You know, it seems like some nights I do really, really well, but then there's just some nights I do struggle with the Asian market. And I think it's just because of the slow price action, and I find myself in trades where I'm holding them because I get, it always takes a minute for the Asia market to really get going in the direction it's going to go. I mean, I don't know if anybody else struggle with that, but it just seems like that is something I struggle with. You never pass the Asia. Yeah. I mainly do it just to try to build up my YouTube channel because there's so many people streaming during the New York session that I use this time of the night to just kind of stream, to try to, you know, meet new subscribers and pick up subscribers. Even if I'm not taking trades, most nights I'll try to take a trade just so that, hey, watch me squirm around a little bit and get into some drawdown and see if we can DCA out of the move. Yeah, we're not doing nothing right now. We've already tried it once. We already hit the 25. Uh, we're only looking for a quick 5 points on that last trade, Natty. We were just looking to hit the 25. So a lot of times I'll do that in the Asia session. We'll just look for like 5 points and see if we can get anything on the runner. I'm kind of looking for a bounce off the 603s here. Natty, we are using multiple prop firms. See, we are trading with My Funded Future. Well, we haven't opened our My Funded Futures account, but hopefully eventually we'll get that open. Um, we are also trading with Bulanox and Lucif. All right, this is kind of where I want to see it reject off of the 603s down here, which it looks around that previous day close. So it rejected off the previous day open there at the 615s, 617s. So could have easily probably got at least a little 5 points with a little runner here to the downside. For shorts, we would have to kind of break through the 600s here. What capital do they give you with those? Those are just 25Ks and 50Ks, Natty. So let's see if we can take like a little 5 point bounce off here. That 603 is my line in the sand. And if we lose 600, we'll pretty much close the trade. Because we got the previous day close sitting there. We got a bunch of wicks also sitting there. About 10 seconds left. If it comes down and misses us, we will not do the second entry. The 600s here is kind of like my bull bear line. So if we start breaking those 600s, I mean, man, I feel like we're going to the 550s from there because there's nothing to hold us up below 600s. Nothing but big, like, open fair value gaps all the way down to 520. And that might even be a thing, is if we get below that 603 area, we can look for shorts. So a lot of times we will take this during the New York session, which is the, I guess that would have been yesterday's previous close. So the previous day close here would have been the 617, 618. Never mind. What's up, Michael? How are you doing today? Yeah, I'm looking for a drop. We're just looking for like a 5-10 point move off of the 603s, 605s. But if this thing pushes back above the previous day close, I'm not sure if we're going to try the second push because we missed our target by about 3 points. Well, thank you for joining us, good sir. Are you trading or are you just watching? Or do you not trade the Asia market? What market do you usually trade, Michael? Most people, if usually London's usually been moving pretty good, and the New York has been kind of super choppy. It just seems like the moves just come out of nowhere in the New York, kind of like here. I wish we had that kind of movement today when we were trading. It was just straight dead today. What's up, Rule? How are you doing today? Yeah, if you're trying to learn, man, I'd watch as many people as possible and just try to find as much information as possible without, being kind of overwhelming, and just kind of find what eventually works for you. Find a way to like practice on a sim account, just practice and practice and practice. We're probably going to take this off. That was the trade that we were kind of looking for. So it pretty much missed us by 3 points of pushing down there. So we got to the 609s. We were looking for that 5 or 10 points pushed back up out of that area, but it looks like we're going to miss it. And I don't know if I want to try the second push because I know what happens if I try that second push. It's just going to blast through that 603. And I'll be standing there like, oh. Yeah, vertical stream always does much better, Rule. So we don't know if we want to take that second push. About 2.5 to 3 years. Yeah, vertical is always much better. YouTube pushes their verticals pretty heavily because you got a lot more people on cell phones. So it's kind of like their TikTok page. Your page gets pushed pretty heavy on TikTok also. Uh, so we did get those little 10 points pushed back to the top side here. Yeah, a lot of people use the vertical. You'd be surprised. Uh, like I probably had just as many people watching vertical on YouTube as same on TikTok. I get a ton of vertical views on TikTok. You get a tons and tons of views on TikTok, at least 2 or 3 thousand a night some nights. Unfortunately, guys, we missed our long opportunity here. As you can see, we're already back up freaking almost 15 points. So that's what we were looking for. There were so many wicks down there. We just missed it by 3 points. So we were about 3 points too short. I didn't want to front run it that much because seriously thought we were going to at least get the 606 touch. You know, I was trying to aim for this little wick here. That's what we were aiming for, that little wick there. And plus we have all these wicks down here right at the 600s. We thought we would get into that mess, then get the nice 10, 15 point bounce. But now I think if you are going to try that, I just feel like it's very dangerous. I know anytime that I've ever tried to go after a second push into some kind of resistance area, I get my butt hammered to me. Baby Pips is going good, man, for the fundamental. Okay. Yeah, Natty said someone named Baby Pips. I don't guess I've ever heard of them either. Michael. He said he's good for someone to watch for fundamentals. Maybe I'll have to check them out. I feel like I've heard that name before. I just can't remember if I've watched them before. Hmm. I think I'm gonna wait and just see if we get the push through the 603s. Man, I still feel like it's going to be a lot of bouncing down there, but man, I just don't know how much I trust to try that for a second push. We'll just watch. We'll just watch and see what happens here. So that 603 is my other bounce spot. So that's the one we were trying to front run, was at 603. Um, I'm just not sure if we're going to blast it or not. I'd almost rather us lose the 603s and just start to move to the downside, but I feel like we're just going to be kind of bouncing back and forth because we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got about 7 or 8 candles in that spot. What's going on, man? How are you doing this evening? So we did try a little break even. We actually tried this short while ago, but we got stopped out on break even. We were just looking for 5 points in a runner. I think we were short up there around the 30 level, around the 30. I just didn't want to get caught into I don't want to get caught in the same position like trade that we were caught in last night. What's up, South Paul? How are you doing tonight? How was your trading segment today? Did you fare okay today, or did the market had some pretty tough moments this earlier today? Uh, we were red on one fundeds. The other fundeds were green. So, and we didn't really make a lot of money on our fundeds. We've been trying super hard this week to keep our funded safe so we can get till next week, and we're hoping price action goes back to normal next week. I'm not sure what's going to happen tonight and tomorrow with all the options are coming to a close. Not all of them, but I guess a good portion of your options are coming to a close tomorrow. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen with the market or how it's going to affect it. You know, with a lot of people closing their option positions or. But I know usually that OPEC Friday is usually a fairly tough Friday to trade. Hmm. 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 So right now we're kind of stuck underneath that previous day open and close. And you can kind of see that happening because basically what it is, we got under that zone where we had all that consolidation. So now let's see if we can start pushing down. Are you talking about the Lux Algo? Let me bring that up real quick. Let me make sure I got the right one that you're talking about. I think it's that Lux Algo. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but I think it's called the Lux. Yeah. The liquidity sweep one. This one, where it shows like your liquidity sweeps. Let me see real quick. Let me go to the website and just see if I can find it in the website there. Because I know I picked it up somewhere. I mean, it has to be a free indicator somewhere. Let's see. Hmm. Seeing if I could find it. Ooh, all right, let me go to my folder and see if I can find it whenever I downloaded it. Oh, you see kind of a short trap here. Give me a minute, guys. I was trying to find. Oh my goodness. Let's see. So we're just kind of waiting to see if we get past those threes here. All right. We found it finally. Let me find my Discord so I can put it in there for you. Oh, here it is. Over here. Oh, that liquidity sweep's already in the Discord for some reason. I can put it in there again. So I put it in there again. Which chat were you in? Here you go. So we're still kind of bouncing. Where did we get to the low? We got our. Let's see if we would at least. I think we would at least got our 5 points, man. That's all we were looking for. 5 points. Didn't quite. Almost right at the 675. So it'll have to get through the 603s for us to continue down. You're going long. Okay. I'm going to take that off because that's just that's just too much for me right now. Too much red going on here. Where did you go long at S-Dub? What's your target to the upside you're looking for? You're down a little, 620. How can you be down 6? You said you're looking for 621. Oh, you got short. You got short at 621. Okay, and you're looking for 695. Okay. I think as long as 603 holds, I think you're good. As long as we can never get back. If we start losing at 603, that's what I start getting a little worried. Or especially the 660 down there. That was yesterday's what was that? Yesterday's low, the 560 or the 660? I can't remember. I swear we keep hitting multiple 60s. What's up? What's up there, Greg? Or I think that's a TT Greg or TDG. Nah, we're not doing anything. We haven't really had any opportunity to take an entry. I was trying to short up at the 30s earlier, but I kind of backed off. I was looking for a bounce play earlier, but we missed it about 3 points, and I did not take the second push, even though we probably could have got the 5 points, but we're just kind of chopping around this area. We're just going to kind of just sit on the sidelines for a moment to see what happens. Yeah, there's plenty of night streams out there. I couldn't tell you how many. I know there's quite a few. Not as many as they are in the daytime. So this is why we're streaming in the evenings. I also do New York session, but it's so hard to build your channel in the New York session, man. You're pretty much anybody that's a small like YouTuber or TikToker or whatever you're doing. If you're trying to stream, whatever you're trying to stream, it's almost like you have to do it on the off hours where, you know, a lot less people. Most of them are from India. I don't guess I've ran across anybody from India streaming, which they probably don't push it since I'm here in the U.S. So I'm pretty sure, you know, because, you know, I get other people from like all over the place coming into my stream, but I know whenever I'm watching TikTok shorts and stuff, they don't ever do that on the other side. So, like, I don't ever come across. Now, I do on TikTok do come across this one India TikToker all the time. And I think it's because I stopped on it one time, and so now it always pops up. It's one of the street cookers who they do like the little sounds with, like the helicopter to helicopter, and he's like banging on the Coke can, cooking it with eggs and stuff. He's always cooking eggs. So it's that one. It always kind of not really make me laugh, but just I guess the sounds. Or, you know, someone will bring him a different flavor drink and he mix it with the eggs. I don't really teach per se. I just share what I usually do. Most of my stuff is just fairly easy because we're just trading off like support and resistant levels. We're trading off like pivots, previous day close, previous day high. I like to look at the midnight candle, hourly candles. We're just looking, you know, just super simple stuff. So like this 603 is kind of like my line in the sand here. So if we can't break back below the 603s, we may get a push higher here. I don't follow any kind of like other YouTuber as far as like what strategy they trade. But support and resistance is probably my favorite thing to trade, along with like breakouts during the daytime. I like doing that on evals also. I also trade around the ICT kill zones and pivots where you're just trying to trade in between the ranges. So right now we're kind of stuck in the middle of the New York PM session. Like, man, that midnight opening candle is insane. How much we always get ton of resistance at that midnight opener. So this would have been your midnight opener today, but unfortunately it didn't happen till 4 o'clock today. So you wouldn't have got that today. So we just use these for areas of what we're looking for as far as targets. But we like to trade off the Fibonacci standard, like you just go to standard pivots and change your settings to Fibonacci. And that's where all these different levels come from. So how we like to trade the pivots is we like to see us pretty much either run into it with resistance. We try not to take it on the first try. We like to see I like to see the push back up, find resistance, then for us to continue higher. I try not to take it on the first time. So I guess this would have been the second try here or this one. This one would have been a nice one this morning. See how we kind of went back up through the pivot, then we came back down and just hit it to the T and just ripped back up all the way to the next pivot to the top side. So these would be the type of plays that we look for in the morning, along with 5-minute breakouts around the 15 minutes. So since we're not in a play, so this is kind of what we're looking at when I'm watching the charts in the morning. I like to watch higher time frames. So all these squares, these are opening range indicators. I mark out all of the higher time frames. So the square here all the way back, this is your 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock 4-hour candle. So these are all 4-hour candles leading up to 3 hours before we open. So the time you get to your fourth candle, which is your 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock close, this is the low of your 4-hour candle, and this is the high of your 4-hour candle. And then you can trade in between the hourly candles, or you can use the 4-hour candles. In this way, I can just stare at one chart. I'm not moving around. I don't have to look at multiple charts to see where the higher time frame's at. So like this morning, I prematurely kind of bought here. This was my one stop out this morning on my funded. But we ended up catching it again on this move here, but we got a second candle to work off of. So we pretty much pushed back up. It's almost to 800 points, ripped back up to the 500. As we came back down, we kind of created a little consolidation candle where we bounced off the pivot again. Then this candle here didn't pull back any deeper than the 23% on this previous 5-minute candle, because I do pull fibs on a lot of my candles. And once this candle, I pretty much got short in this area. No, I didn't. I got short right below my pivot, because what I did is I waited for this candle to start pushing through the pivot, pull back a little bit, and then when it went back through the 400s, we got short at 98. And I can't remember how much we took or where we got stopped out, but this was probably the bigger move. I'm trading off the 5-minute time frame early mornings. And let's see. This was another trade that we took also around lunchtime. So we pushed back into this pivot. So look, we went from pivot to pivot. So look, pivot to pivot to pivot. Like, dude, it's crazy. This thing will do this all day. It always offers entries. You just gotta get them. But this was another one. So we shorted this candle too today, near a little after 10:30. I think we were up almost 70 points on this move here, because we shorted again up here around the 80s or 90s also on this candle here. So, but yeah, we like to short around like those pivots and stuff. I don't draw them, so they're given to me by, I just get them off of TradingView. So all it is you put in pivots in TradingView and change your settings to Fibonacci. So if you just put in pivots, so when you go to settings, their standard pivots are traditional pivots, and this is traditional. So, but I like using the Fibonacci pivots. So I use the Fibonacci ones. Okay, sorry. So if you go to settings, after you put in standard pivots, all you do is have to change the type of pivots that you want to use, or whatever. You know, I haven't tried any of these other ones, so I couldn't tell you much about the Woody, the Classic, the DM, or the Cambarella, but I've used the traditionals before in the past, but it's been a while. But I came across somebody a while back that was using the Fibonacci pivots, and they seem to be working pretty well. I like using them. So, and I also like to use the midnight candle a lot too for support and resistance. So we're still kind of stuck under that. Then the rest of this stuff is just indicators that I've kind of custom to my own. So like it kind of marks out your like daily close, your daily open. the previous day high. The previous day low is all the way down at 324. Those I just specifically just set up myself after I put the one indicator that marks out those levels. Guys, I think we could have got our freaking trade again. Let's see. Man, I could have got my freaking 10, 15 points off of that 603. I wasn't sure if it was going to hold. Dude, the nighttime Mel, I love the Fibonacci's in the nighttime, man. We're always pulling back that 50% in the evening. You're longing? No. Do we long with S-Dub over here? $603 will have to be my line in the sand, S-Dub, if we get stopped out here. We're going to leave one contract for a runner. We're just trying to knock out a quick little, like, $40. This is a S-Dub trade. S-Dub said he was long from 21, and we got long about the same spot with him. Let's go, S-Dub. Man, we could have banged off 10 there, S-Dub. How deep are you in on your contract, Dub? I'm in like, I was in with 5 micros. We just took the 4 off at the 25. That way we can still have a negative drawdown if it decides to come back. Well, that 03, I was waiting to see what was going to happen with that 03 down there, because that's kind of my bull bear line down there around the 03s. I know a lot of times we hit those, we hit that super trend, and that's kind of like my short bull bear line. Like, man, if we can push back down in a little bit and break those 03s, I just feel like we possibly run that whole move back to the downside for this evening, like run back down to the lows of the New York PM session. Or do we go for the 690s or 700s up there for the, what, PM high? Is that what you're looking for? Is that PM high up there? Where is that? Yeah, it would be the 2 wicks up here around the 680s. Let's see. Now, if I feel like we're going to get back below the 615 here, I'll just close this trade because I'm not going to sit through drawdown. This is just my runner, because if I sit through drawdown, we're just giving up profit. I'd rather just re-enter and get a better entry if we're still going to look for longs. I got to keep up with the time this evening, so it's only 7. Okay, I got plenty of time. We're on a little earlier tonight. My oldest daughter's having a her first baby, so I have to take some stuff to the hospital in a little while. First baby. No, I don't trade Bitcoin. I wish I could figure out how to trade Bitcoins on futures and be good at it. But I don't know how much it would interfere with me trading on the you said the ticker for future Bitcoin is MBT1. Okay. Thank you, Leak. Yeah, she's up at the hospital tonight, but they haven't really, I don't think they've done like because I think they're going to do like the water inducing and stuff like that, but I don't think they've started that. So that's going to be a long process. Unfortunately, most women that give birth or don't go into labor naturally, they're at the hospital for like probably 12, like they'll be in labor for like 10 hours. Long evening. All right, so we were able to take another $40 out of that, man. Nice. All right, so what we did is, let me find this other. I got another stream on. I have to turn that off. It's loud. So since we didn't go for the 4 points while ago, we just pretty much was able to add in 4 more contracts. So if we keep getting pullbacks where it keeps kind of going, popping, making these little pops, we can just kind of try to see if we can keep adding to it. But like I said, my line in the sand's there at the previous day close. So if I feel like we're going to lose the 15s, we will close because I don't feel like sitting through drawdown. Okay. I can always just re-enter. So we're at least able to get two 5-point moves for about $80 out of that move there. It says, what session is your trading? This would be Asia trading, Asia session on the MNQ. There's the 03 bounce that we were looking for earlier, or even the 600 bounce. Whew. Yeah, be careful with us losing these 603s. No, I prefer the New York session. I just do the Asia session with the eval just to try to like build up my YouTube channel. And I'm able to trade it. I mean, I'm still able to find trades in the Asia market if we have movement, but it can be kind of tough sometimes because it's super slow. So we're about to have a new 5-minute candle. You'd almost want to see this candle kind of push back up if you are going to look for shorts into the 600s. Don't really want to see it just dump. Oh no, you're fine. No, son of a bee. My guess is we'll at least get down to the 75s. I know we're going to get a 603 retest. All right. Says, what is your strategy on passing? I trade mainly off support and resistance on passing. Okay, there it goes. I mean, the key to passing evals, you either, it really depends on how good you are at trading. I mean, if you're good at trading, heck, you can just probably just full send your evals. But, you know, or if you like to do the grind, just don't over leverage. That's really the key. Most of the time, if you can just stay consistent with your trading, you don't blow your accounts. It's only, most people, just like myself, usually we end up blowing our accounts whenever we start over leveraging. That's usually what happens. So for the bulls here, they're going to have to get back above the 603s. If they can recover the 603s, they should be pretty good. Yeah, I don't usually trade the ES very much, but I do like to watch the ES. So we're recovering that 603. I'm not really sure where that is to the top side here. If they can recover the 603s, they should be good for another push. It's if they don't recover those 603s. Yeah, if they can't recover the 603s, that's where they'll probably get another push down to the 560s. We still got about 2 minutes left on this candle. It's just this thing's just pounding it at the moment, guys. Come on. If it gets through 603s, I'm all about the longs. It just has to get through the 603s. That's kind of my bull bear line, the 603s. Kind of like last night when we had that one line that we were playing off of. Or even back above the previous day closing high. It would have to get back above here. All right, let's see if we're going to continue. We got 1 minute, so to be this on the safer end, you would at least need to wait for this next 5-minute candle to print. This way, it can have like a little wick. What you don't want to see is this pretty much just wick back into the previous day, open and closed, and starts pushing down. Close. Excuse me. 30 seconds left. You should be able to tell a lot on this next 5-minute candle if this thing's going to push or if we're just going to kind of create a little order block here. 5 seconds left. 5 seconds. Really needs to print above like that 1720 range. Yeah, we usually do the opening. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it, guys. We printed right above that opening day there. It would have to break 53 for us to continue higher here. We had the same kind of move last night where we pulled back to this level, but on the other side, remember that 86 level last night, guys? This would be the same type setup with the 53 if we push up to the 53 and it holds. This thing could hit the 53 and come all the way back down. Make sure. Wait, is it? Let me make sure I can't. Okay. Maybe it's the 55. Let's see. 55. Not 53. Yeah, we mainly just trade the New York opening every day. I mean, I don't think there's a day that doesn't go by that we don't trade the New York opening. S-Dub, did you hold through a drawdown on that pullback to the 90 a while ago? Or did you get out of that trade and re-enter? Yeah, I forgot to start whatchamacallit tonight. My TikTok channel. I usually do TikTok too, and I forgot to hit the live button. 639. I'm waiting to see what kind of rejection we get off of the 655s. And, you know, we haven't got through that midnight candle yet, except for once earlier, what looks like all that volume at the 63. So that's kind of where we've been pushing up to a while ago, is that oh, you took the long to the 639. Okay, nice. Yeah, last night I sat through drawdown forever. Overall, I can't say if I'm profitable or not because I've only been consistent, really consistent, probably over the last, say, 6 months. But if you probably take how much money you spend in the first couple years of trading, I would probably say I'm still red as far as how much money we spent on prop firms. Because I've only been doing this for about 2.5 years, and it takes about a good 2 years to really to get somewhat decent and get consistent. I mean, most people are taking 2 to 3 years or not even longer when it comes to trading. A lot of break even, a lot of break even months. You know, a lot of like ups, downs, and that type of stuff, like what most people go through. And I've always traded really, really slow when it comes to my funded. So we would just spend months and months and months on our fundeds because the fundeds were just so expensive to be, dropping $100 to $150 every time you blow a funded. So when you're trading with prop firms, and I don't know if I'd feel comfortable with trading with real cash. I would probably now feel comfortable trading with real cash, but over the last couple years, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable trading cash. It seems like a lot of people that start off new to trading and use their first cash, man, they just get hammered. To me, I found it cheaper just to use prop firms. Are you a long leak? Yeah, that's why I don't really ever try to like sell nothing or push nothing, Sean. So like I would be a person that would never do like the, sell a course or sell signals or, none of that stuff. And I have a fairly small YouTubers. We may make like a few $100 on affiliates sometimes, but that can vary. I'm still looking for the push up to the 55 here. Okay, I thought maybe you were in a position. Uh, T. Greg, did you take a long at the 39 or you took profit at 39? It's really hard to do anything kind of right here because I feel like we still could get a pullback. And I try to keep from put myself in drawdown situations in the nighttime because it seems like that happens a lot. It's so easy to get yourself in drawdown in the nighttime, then you're just kind of sitting here for hours trying to get out of the position. So it just makes it super, super tough some nights. I did that to myself last night where we were stuck in a trade, I swear, for like almost 2 hours last night. And it took us forever to get out of it. And I was just slowly DCAing out of it. So anytime we had big pullbacks, we would just add to our position just to try to bring down our average. So we were grinding last night trying to get out of that one position. It finally did skyrocket to the upside. We sold almost at the top. What is it? The top last night was 321, 322, I think. So we're about 20 points off the top up there. I thought we were going to make another. When I went back and looked, I thought we were going to make the push up to those 80s. But, man, we got about 60 points away, and we just sold off the rest of the night. I don't know if anybody went back and looked at the price action from last night. Thank you guys for the likes and follows this evening. Hopefully everyone's having a safe trading session, or even if you're not trading, there's usually always people in the lobby sharing information most days. So they're either sharing, what they're looking for or what position they're looking for, either long, shorts, or off certain targets. Most of the stuff that you see on my charts are usually support and resistant levels that I like to look for, like previous day close, previous day open, the midnight opening candle, which is up there at 661. The gold lines are pivots. What is that? You got to replay the charts for the last 5 minutes. What about replaying the charts for the last 5 minutes? Oh, I would have to got to replay the chart. Okay. See, I think I missed it whenever you put that 639 in there. I guess the time I saw that, we were already at 639. What time is it? Oh, shoot. We're still a long ways from top of the hour. Also, if you like to trade Asia market, man, the top of the hours is usually when you get your really good moves. Is there anybody trapped in a short or long at the moment? Right now, we're kind of bouncing off the previous day open close. If we can lose these levels and get back through the threes, I feel like we'll get another push to the downside. Yeah, that's some of my favorite time for trading too, is that 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. What's up, Buy? You're on the US 30, so I'm assuming that's Forex, correct? Buy? I'm not sure. I feel like I mean, I've seen other people put US 30 before. Oh, Dow Jones. That's it. It's like I know I've seen that term before, but I just could not remember what the US 30 was. Okay, so it's in the Dow Jones. I don't know if I've ever really tried trading the Dow Jones. Let's see. Is that US 30? Is that the ticker for the Dow Jones buy? Whoo, we're about to lose. We're pretty much back retesting at 30. Okay. Oh, let's trade gold. I don't think gold's doing much. We can take a look at the Dow Jones in a minute. Kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with these. We see what's going to happen with my bull bear line at the 603s. I don't want to jump in too early because I've been trying to short below the 603s. So we tried to take this short while ago. I don't know. Could we get 5 points? What is that, 85? I would think we'd at least run the lows here. $55 seconds. We're trying to be patient, wait for our next candle. Man, if this thing gets through the 60s, there's nothing holding this thing up to all the way down at 510. Would like to see another retest of the 603s just to make sure that 603 is going to hold. Because last time it did not hold and that thing just ripped all the way back through. So there's the retest of the 603s. And that'll also be our kind of our stop loss if I end up taking this, is the 603s. So we wouldn't want to get back up above the 603s. It's trying. Man. I don't know if it'll be able to get through those 603s. We're still kind of butting heads with it. So if we get tagged in, the 603s will definitely be our stop loss kind of line in the sand. So we don't want it back above the 603s if we're going to look for shorts. That's where I will probably close my trade if it gets back above the 603s. Because this thing could come roaring back to the top side, and we do not want to be sitting through all that drawdown. I'd rather just take my stop loss at the 603. This way we're only in it for about $100. The only thing that worried me here is if we did move back up, do we only move back up to clear out this gap, then come back down to kind of take out this imbalance gap? I almost feel like we need at least a push to the 75, kind of push down to the next set of whole numbers, then maybe retest the 600s. Man, we're already about to have a new 5-minute candle. I was hoping we'd at least get our 5 points, then holding for the runner before we got the new 5-minute candle. We got about 30 seconds left for the 5-minute candle, because this next 5-minute candle could start pushing back to the top side here. Or if you want, we can always try DCAing, and as long as it doesn't get back through this, you know, this could kind of hold up here, kind of getting back through the 605s and 606. But you also have this imbalance gap that's going to be created here in a minute. So it could pull back into this imbalance gap here. Remember, guys, we're on micros. Just if you're new here. And we're on an eval. The 603, 605 is kind of like my line in the sand there, guys. I don't want to see this come blasting all the way back up there to the, 55s is where it could go. Because we did not tag those 55s up there. Let me pull fib on this leg real quick and see where, if we hold the 50%, where's the 50% of this leg? 50% is back up here at 615. I'm just hoping the 603s holds. 603s holds, we should be good. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. We're trying to get shorter into the 603s. I hate when it puts a little wick on the other side of this previous candle, because a lot of times what happens when it does that, sometimes it comes just roaring back up to the top side. Dude, don't give me a nasty little wick there. Uh-oh. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. I done updated that thing so many times. It's like push. The Bears are on the struggle bus, man. We're underneath my bear bull line, which is at 603, but we even pull back to retest the 603s, but the Bears are still struggling to push down. We even pull back to retest the 603s and still cannot push down. Man, we're already about to have a new 5-minute candle. This is not good when we sit here and consolidate like this. That gets kind of scary. I don't mind doing this on my runner, but usually when my first set of contracts, man, I just want to get those things knocked out. Got 20 seconds left. Give me a little push before this next candle prints. 13 seconds. 10 seconds. No, we're about to have a new 5-minute candle. That sucks. Dude, that's so dirty. The Bears just could not push that thing down. I knew once we got that second freaking candle and we could not push down to even the bottom of that wick that this thing's probably going to have a pullback before it can move down. That or whenever it gives you those opportunities to get out of the trade and you don't take it because it's struggling to push down. He's like, let me hold it. Then next thing you know, you're like 10, 15 points of drawdown. Last night, man, we held for a while last night. So let me see that line again. 603.75 is the kind of my bull bear line. Well, at least it did finally hit it. I'm expecting some kind of bounce off the 75 here too. $640. The Bears are on the struggle bus too, man. Oh, you're doing some paper trading? It says currently trading futures, Indy. Yeah, it's... Let me move this over. Oh, yeah, there's definitely not a lot of volatility in the evenings. So now that we've already sold off those other contracts, we don't sold off 5 contracts and we just got our one runner. So now we can just kind of chill and just wait and see what happens with the runner. Or what we can do is if it does start pushing back up in this area, and if it holds, maybe we can add a contract to kind of get a better overall entry. How much longer to the top of the hour? We still got 20 minutes to the top of the hour. May not get any kind of really good movement until the new 1 hour candle comes around. That's usually what happens in the Asia market. For anybody that's new to Asia, your best trading is always at the top of the hour. %50 pullback on this candle was up there at the 615s. You just have to be new. You only get 2 50% off with Lucif. You get 2 off at 50%, 5 off at 40%. Then your 6th one and 7th one is 30%. So you would have to go to your Lucif page and go to promo and see if you've already used those discounts up already. I'm assuming just because it's the brand new hourly candle. If we get back above those 603s, then get back above 615s, you may get the push. We'd have to get through the 615s. That would be your kind of your 50% pullback there. You can see that we're still struggling to kind of get through the 602s here. 603 area. We've already kind of hit it once. But I know the overnight market loves to pull back 50%. So what you want to, if you're bears, you want to see the 50% hold. If you're bulls, you kind of want to see it lose that 50%. So you just kind of pull fib on this overall leg. So it just hit the 50%, almost to the tick there. The 50% is sitting at 612. See the reaction off this to 50%? It seemed like the Asian market loves the 50%. It hard, especially on these individual legs. That's usually a good indicator. Like if you're like wondering if the market's going to hold on some of these legs, just pull Fibonacci, especially in the evening, man. The 50% is always so solid in the Asia market. Are you in a long at the moment, T? Oh, okay. So you're not new. Okay, so you lost your. Yeah, I lost mine last Monday, man. I know the feel. I'm working on another elusive right now. I think I'm about. It's a 25K, and I think I have. Let me see. I don't even know how much money what I have in there. Uh, I'm not even logged into elusive. So we got 668 in our elusive account. Boy, the 50% just paid. It almost looks like we have equal lows on that leg right here. Looks pretty close to equal lows. So you would think the market would want to take out those equal lows. I'm still going to be targeting the 45s to the downside. That's that next pivot. Unless we end up pushing back to the top side and get back above the 615s and 617s, then that's where I'll be like kind of iffy if we're going to not continue higher here. So that 50% area is going to be kind of like the next kind of line in the sand. And we didn't really make a swing low with this candle, so it could easily start pushing back up here. Usually it's whenever we start losing over 50% of the previous candle. Usually that's a good indicator that we're going to be moving higher. Oh yeah, man. As long as that 50% holds, it's still going to continue down. So the 50% right now is sitting at the 613 T. Pretty much right below that previous day open and close. Well, we didn't make a newer low with this candle, so I mean that's a good sign. So the the bears couldn't still were struggling to push it down, so we could definitely get another big move to the upside here. My line in the sand for my runner is going to be up there around the 615. So this way, if it black kind of pushes back up there and blasts those 615s, we'll close our runner. Excuse me. Man. Man, it's almost 9 o'clock already. Time goes by fast sometimes. Uh-oh. Why are we buffing? Let's see. T, are you holding along? Oh, you said you thought you lost it. I thought I lost my internet. That's how slow the candles were. That's a good one. Uh, oh no, you okay? So you're scalping too. I don't blame you, man. I like to do those quick scalps, then hold the runners. Like just hold one contract and see if we can get the big move in the right direction. No, Central Time is almost 8 o'clock, South Paul. I usually just always try to stay on the Eastern Time, even though I'm in Central, just because most people trade the Eastern Time whenever they're thinking about the market. So I just try to stick to Eastern Time. So just out of habit, I try to just always refer to the time when it's saying, when the stock market goes. Just from point to point on the leg. So you can do fib multiple ways. You can do the whole move, or you can just do individual legs. At nighttime, I do individual legs just because we're scalping. So I don't really need to know what the whole overall leg is doing. I just kind of want to know what's going on within this one section. So basically, you just take your previous high, or even though it's a higher low because it did not break this high, but it's a previous high. So it'll be this to here. So it'll be from 0 at the bottom to the 100 up at the top. So if you look at the last leg, which is here, you can see what kind of pullback this leg did. So this leg here pulled back into the golden pocket. So, this is what most Fibonacci people who actually trade Fibonacci, who actually take their trades off fibs, this is what they're looking for. Here's their high, here's their new low. Then they're looking for the golden pocket, which is between the 60 and 70% pullback. And that's what they would short out of. Yeah, just a swing high, swing low, basically. Or we can kind of go to the left and see what's the outside leg, and you can do the fib on the whole move. So like this is a 300-point move here from earlier today. So you can see that the pullback was right at the 50% on the pullback before it started moving higher. Didn't quite get into the golden pocket range, but you did get the 50% pullback. Yeah, there's a different numbers that people use on the you can use the decimal. I use percentages. You can change it to whatever you want to change it. Whenever I like did my like numbers and stuff, I just took the decimal out and made it percentages. It's kind of like whenever I say the 32% or the 23% or the 61%, most people have it under there as, uh, 0.61 point. I would have to look and see what that was, but that's usually how a lot of people have it in there too. There's, I just do whatever works, for yourself. Like I said, I use percentages. I usually use like the 10% or 23%, the 32% or 50% or 61, those type of percentages. And you can just change that with inside the settings, wherever how you're setting up your fib. Yep, there's another fake out. Still could not get above that 50% of that pullback. So I want to say if you go kind of click on it and go to properties. Oh yeah, you would go to template. I can't remember if it was under load or set. It's been a while since I've done this. Oh well, we're going to cancel it because I don't remember. It's been a while since I set that up. Are you holding a... No, you said you weren't holding anything. What? It says after I typed it out, I figured out. But all I did was just type as I sent it. Nice. It's all good. uh, I don't know why my thing keep buffing. I need to add to my position and see if we can get a better entry. YouTube said it would be a good time to insert an ad. Maybe at the end, YouTube. Maybe at the end. All right, about 12 more seconds, and we're about to have a brand new candle here. I mean, is there a possibility that we get back up to the 650s here? Because, I mean, that's the... It's like forever. Shoot, we got 5 more minutes at the top of the hour. I'm hoping top of the hour. We've been looking for shorts for a while. Yeah, it's going to be very iffy tomorrow with all the contracts coming to an end tomorrow. Tomorrow is, I guess, what they call OPEC Friday. So it's usually not a very good trading session. I think if I was going to trade, probably maybe just do evals and start Monday fresh. Or either that or just look for that one trade in the morning to see if we can get like a quick 10 points with the runner with our fundeds. I feel like that would be the safer of the two. Kind of what we did this morning, but unfortunately we were kind of 1 for 1 on that. Huss is just my like YouTube name. Your nickname is TG. like like that's just something that I had just picked just strictly for YouTube. Just something just like 4 letters whenever I was trying to think of something. I didn't want it to be like, a crazy drawn out like long name, so I just wanted it to be super simple, like 1 word, 4 letter, that type of name. Easy to remember and easy to say. I just typed random stuff and YouTube added it when I made it up the account. They just made up TDDGD. It's almost like you want to say Greg in a way for some reason. I don't know why, but I mean, I can see all those little G's. Yeah, Nick, there's another guy who's in here. He was telling us about that last night. About so with oil, if oil is going up, the NQ it reverses the opposite with oil. Is that how you're saying that works with the oil with the NQ? Or do they go in the same direction? Kind of like Nvidia, like everything the Nasdaq follows Nvidia. So I didn't know. Someone else, Nick, was talking about that last night. Let me find a chart that I can put. Let's see. I haven't even looked at gold this evening. Dude, gold has been super flat this evening. Dude, those charts are just so messy. All right, let me see if I can find oil. I think it's CL, right? CL is gold. Yep, CL. I'm not even sure if I can get on top of these charts. Yeah, I can. So if gas is trying to move up, the nasty girl is going to be trying to go back down, right? Okay. Ah, crap. We're going to have to see if we can. I just got to make sure I watch this. I don't want it to kind of get back above the 615s. What's up, volunteer? How are you doing tonight? Gold's up and the nasty girl goes down. Nice. The nasty girl. You think we're just going to end up just, yeah, probably so. Chop back up to the London session. I've only got about 20 more minutes. we could fill in this gap up here, this imbalance gap, all the way back up to 25s. Oh goodness. Dude, how heavy are you going in to get 375? I mean, you got to be going in crazy heavy. That is a 375. I mean, what is that? You have to be going in with like 3 or 4 micro, I mean, freaking minis to get that much profit for that little movement. Man. He said, look out below. Let's see here. My line in the sand's up there at 615. Well, we've been in a short for a while. These are the runners that I got left over from that short from earlier. But kind of the line in the sand here is if we start losing the 15s, we're just going to close our position. So we started off with 6 contracts and we already sold off the 5 contracts. And I just added one here to see if we can bring our average up. Which we'll probably close our runner out pretty much back up here past the 615s, 617s. If I'm pulling fib on this total move, that's kind of like the 50, 60, 60 range. We'll wait and see what happens with this candle. I mean, that was a pretty bullish candle. All right, we're going to go ahead and close that. We already been kind of sitting at it a while. That was kind of the leftover runner from what we had earlier. Probably the push up to, if I had to, let's see, push up to 51 here. For U.S. market structure. Mm. Nice, man. 540. So you done made 8 something in the last like 2 plays? Dude, that's insane. Dude, you're over there dropping the hammer down on these things. Holy goodness. I know what happens if I try to drop the hammer on that. That crap will go in the opposite direction and I'll be down 800 bucks. That's usually what happens whenever I go in heavy like that. I try not to go in super heavy. Let's see. You're testing out a new strategy? Oh, nice. Well, dude, it's working pretty good for the Asia market. Look at gold taking off, guys. Gold done ripped. Dude, that thing's up 40 points. That's a lot of points in gold. How many counts have you liquidated? Oh, that's a good one. That's usually what happens to me, volatile. If I try to over leverage, man, I ended up just getting effed. Mr. Fizz is like, he's like, I like going in heavy like that. I'll profit and get whipped. Oh, man. Oh, it happened to me going in heavy like that and just got destroyed. Trust me, that's what happens to me too, man. You're not alone. Anytime I try to go in super heavy like that, I just get wrecked. It's just better for me to go in small than maybe try to add. Oh my goodness. So, whew. And how many contracts are you going in on when you're doing that? Man, I think if you're in with 5 or 6 contracts, I mean, heck, that's only like what, 20 points of drawdown. Okay, so the ATR has to be around that 10. Yeah, mine is I think 2500. The one that we're trading at the moment is 2500. Usually the nighttime will just go back and forth. And, if I know if you're in heavy, it only takes about 20, 30 points to really just wreck your account. Yeah, that was a nasty candle last night, Sal Paul. No one it was hard to picture that freaking 50, 60 point can. Is that the one that you were talking about? That one where you got long at 53 last night and we had that nasty wick of like 50 candle to the downside? Like that one right there was like we just couldn't see that coming. There was just no way. I'm glad I wasn't in the full profit that we were looking for. I think I had my break or my order sitting right below my that bull bear line of 64 last night. But I didn't anticipate that 50, it was almost like a 60, 70 point pullback because we were up around the 60 or 70 and it just yanked back all the way back down to the 600s. Then ripped straight back up 100 points. Like it was insane last night with that move. Just 1 to 2%. I usually look to, I'm using usually those 25Ks, and I'm usually looking for like $100 a day, which is about 7 or 8%, I think, because these are 15, well, not 15Ks, but basically you got $1,500 of drawdown. So I'm usually just looking for one move with like trying to make not risk more than 10% and just try to make 10%. So that's usually how I do my those little prop firm accounts that I trade with. That's the funniest. Boy, my eyes have gotten so heavy this evening. Oh, if you're on funded, you just go super hard with it. I mean, eval. Dude, some of those evals are expensive though, man. Now, Bulinox evals, I'll do that. Like those 90% evals that they have, I'll go in kind of heavy, but okay, Sid. Apex is 30. So that's not too bad. I prefer it to be down in the teens. About to have a new 5 minute candle here. It's almost like, can we finally break this high? Because right now, we've been just kind of making higher lows on this move back up. So you can just kind of see we're just making little legs. Is this going to be the breakout here to the upside? How was the payouts with Bulinox? They're good. I took $1,000 from them last month. They pay pretty fast. You, as long as you request it by Friday, they pay on Wednesday. That's what I'm working on now. Is now I just got to make another $1,000 to get another $1,000 payout with them. But with them, you only can trade 3 funded accounts at a time. I have 6 funded accounts with them, but 3 of them are kind of just sitting in the sidelines. You only can have 3 at a time. So, like, you don't have to pay for them, they just sit in the sidelines. So, last month, I took a payout from this account here. So, once they take the the money out, it leaves you what, 52,600. And these two, I was hoping to get both of these to pay out this month, but with this week has been kind of a wash since last Thursday. I've been on the struggle bus with these accounts since last Thursday, so we're just trying to make them survive without doing too much damage to them. And I'm hoping next week we can kind of get back on the right track again. We just need to make $1,000 a piece in each count, which is hopefully about 10 to 12 trading days, and hopefully maybe 1st of April is kind of what we're looking for now, since we didn't get it this month. I did have to wait a little longer to get my account back, because whenever I requested the payout with them, I put in the wrong email address. I do copy trading. I was copy trading those two accounts together for a little bit, but I haven't recently. I think it's because I had almost like that 25K. I just took my first loss on that account last Thursday. So there was for almost a month that I did not take a single loss on that account. Like I was just like cruising along. I got it to where I only needed $800 more to get to another $1,000 payout. Then last Thursday hit. Then it's just been a crap show since last Thursday for me. And I'm just trying to just survive without just messing up my accounts. So I just feel like that's what it's been like all week long. It's either just a back and forth. I take a loss, I take a win, no trade, take a loss, take a small win. It's been like that for the last week or so for me. Like, it's been tough. I'm sorry, I might have missed it. I don't think there's any kind of limit on how many trades you can take a day if you want to scalp like that. I think you can do it as much as you want, if I'm not mistaken. I know with Bulanox, they don't care. Bulanox don't have any rules. That's why I like trading with Bulanox. The only rule you got to worry about with Bulanox is the 40% consistency rule in your funded, and that's pretty much it. Anything else, man, it's just you do what you got to do to get it passed. You just can't make over 40%. I want to say there's some of the rules, even with elusive. I don't want to say they don't have no consistency rule with one of those elusive accounts that, man, you can almost kind of like take profit trader. You can just full port. No, it's a Bulanox with a B. Bulanox. I think once you're funded, you can. But I think with the evals, they got a consistency rule with the evals. I don't really take profit traders, so I couldn't tell you uh, the exact setups. It's kind of like with some of the elusive account, one has a consistency rule, the other doesn't. If that's something that you want to do is full port your evals, you would have to make sure they don't have that 50% consistency rule. But I know with Bulanox, you can full port your evals. It's like they're similar to Apex without the rules. But they make you keep the buffer in there. That's the only difference with Bulanox. So you have to keep a $2,600 buffer in there once you're funded. Well, you get 26. The drawdown stops following you once you're above 2,600 or 1,600. Yeah, South Paul over here in this our other chat, he uses Take Profit Trader and he says there's no consistency rule after you go pro on a Take Profit Trader account. Woo! Ah, shoot, our runner got stopped out, guys. Dude, this 603 has been a straight magnet this evening. Let's see. We only got about 10 more minutes. I have to get a few things ready and take to the wife up to the hospital there. That's why we kind of got on the stream earlier this evening. We're my daughter's having her first child, and so she's in the hospital this evening. Which, anybody that knows, anytime someone goes through their first child, shoot, they're in the hospital freaking for 10 or 12 hours before they go through labor. It takes a long time. And so I guess, I got to take some stuff to my wife because my wife is staying up there tonight with, her and her white son-in-law. But I don't usually do the whole labor room stuff. That's just, it's if it's not my biological child, we're not doing it. But we'll wait till all that's over with. I don't need to see that side of my daughter. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have to go do that. Then we'll do the visiting after the birth is over. I would probably even get kind of queasy. So that's a lot going on in labor rooms. Wow, man, we are still just pacing around the 603 area, guys. We just cannot get it. It's like the Alien movies, so I heard. Oh goodness. I guess so. Yeah. Besides, I think that Alien movie was wasn't the dude or somebody that came out of his stomach. It's been a long time since I've seen the Alien movie. So That movie's. That's what I picture. I guess we could look up alien baby come out of human in movie scene. Oh goodness. uh, let's see. Uh-oh. Dude, I cannot believe this freaking whatchamacallit's just been a straight magnet. Mm, no. For some reason it doesn't want to come up. I really don't have a certain amount. Usually with fundeds, it's usually one funded account per trade. And then we either put it away, whatever happens with that account. The reason why I say I'm not sure how many, because sometimes I do trade a lot more on my evals. But when it comes to fundeds, we will be kind of going in a little heavy. Oh, I closed out my freaking page. Dude, this area right here has been tough, guys. Yeah, it's consolidating very, very tough. It's probably going to be one of those nights, Paco, where we have to go all the way. Made over 30 trades today, where we're just going to pretty much consolidate all the way to the London. On my fundeds, I try not to risk over like that 8 to 10% per trade. So most of my funded accounts, I'm usually risking about $120 per account. And that has seemed to work very well for me, recently because I mean, unless you're just really trading stupid and you have a fairly decent strategy, you shouldn't lose more than 5 trades in a row. So, because I mean, I hardly ever lose two in a row. Very rarely do I lose 2 trades in a row on my funded accounts. It's always, if I do, it's always a loss, a win, a loss, and a win. So it's hardly ever 2 trades in a row. Now this is from day to day because I do it from day to day. I don't usually take more than 1 trade. So I'll take 1 trade with the fundeds. It's either a loss, break even, or a winner, and then the next account is totally separate. Then we'll. I don't really know what my win percentage is. It's something I just never really kept up with. Like I've never just kept up with it. I guess because I don't really think about it. Let's see. Yeah, so like this was my numbers with my 25K. So I did not have no losses for, man, for almost the whole month of February. The whole month of February, I had nothing but all wins. Then this is where I said last Thursday, man. Ever since we went into like chop mode last Thursday, it's just been super tough. So loss, win, loss, break even, loss, $33. Like that is what my trading has been like since last Thursday. This whole week has felt like a total wash to me. But we've been surviving. We haven't like destroyed it or anything. But that's what my morning trades have been like for the last week. Since last Thursday, it's always a win, loss, win, break even, loss. Like for a whole month straight, I didn't take one loss. Like all of February going into the middle of March, I was only $800 away from like payout, like between $700 and $800 to pay out. And then we just hit that wall last Thursday, and it's just been like just trying to survive without messing up the accounts. So that's kind of where we've been at on the fundeds for the last week. And I knew that was going to happen, like the struggles, because I don't care, man. I always struggle anytime we're around rollover week, FOMC week, and OPEC week. I mean, the amount of stuff that's going on this week is just, I can imagine if you start looking at a lot of the lobbies or going around, you'll see so many people destroyed their funded accounts this week. Like, it's been a lot of tough trading for folks this week. So I try to recognize whenever the market's super crappy is try not to trade my fundeds. I can live with a blown $15 eval, but I do not want to blow a $150 funded account. So that's totally different, for me. Because now I did blow one funded this month, and that was with Luciv. I blew my Luciv funded because I over leveraged it. I tried to go in with like 10 minis, no, 10 micros. And I took I took a fairly bigger loss on 3 micros, and then I tried to up my leverage, and that's when I got myself. Dude, the market was tough today, Nick. I think I only had that one good move to the downside today, Nick. That remember, I don't know if you were here this morning. I took that first loss on the funded. Then I was looking for the shorts all morning long, and I caught the big move to the downside. I think I caught 2 big trades today, only one on funded and the other one on eval. Now we did not get a elusive trade today, Nick. Our elusive, we got that got later on in the morning, it got so choppy that it was just so hard. You said, okay, so you at least made 700 and 200 on both for your fundeds. Nice. Dude, I wish I could make like $400 or $500 on my elusive funded or eval. I guess that would get me past. Heck, I don't even have elusive funded. I lost my elusive funded a couple Mondays ago. We're working on getting it back, man. We're halfway there. We're at like 600 and something dollars. So we only need to make another $600 to pass. Eventually, we should be starting a my funded futures eval, and so hopefully we can get a funded account with my funded futures. At least hope so. Whew, is this another fake out to the? Well, we did break a high, so maybe. No, we still have not broke that candle. Now, those three counts that you lost, Nick, was that just full porting them or what? Or was that consistently taking trades and fail, or was that putting the boys on the table, be like, screw this, man, we're going to slap the 3-4 minis on and just go for it? Slapping the boys on the table and going all in, full porting. Yeah, basically. Just the full port. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Okay, so total gains 28.2K and drawdown 19 for the last 2 days. Whew. So true. It says on all of them I was up huge, would not take profit until they hit the 1500. Okay, so basically you just kind of full port them and you were just seeing if you could hold them to the $1,500 50%. Silver pumped hard. I don't really have silver. I do have gold. Gold did have a nice little pump here. It pumped 80 points. Ooh, look at the breakout, guys. Let's see. Let's see if we can find out where we may get stopped here. $55. Let's see. Might have missed it. Then above 55 would be that midnight candle sitting at like 60, 61. Look away, guys. Look away. Dude, did we just miss that by like a tick? I bet we did. Oh, it should have been at 54. I had it at 54 and a quarter. I think we just missed it. We missed it. It should have been like a quick 5 or 10 points. It was supposed to have been at 54, and I had it at 54 and a quarter. Son of a bee. God darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I had it in the wrong spot. I thought it was 55, and I was trying to just be right under it, and it was actually 54. So I don't know if it's going to, I don't think it's going to hold twice, guys. Dang it. Yep, it was 54. Ah, I can't believe I did that. I was just trying to get 5 points and see if we get a little like 10, 15 point runner. Last night, this was like the low or the high. No, the low from last night. And it just completely sold straight to the moon off of this level last night on the opposite side. So I didn't know if this level would have like a good, nice 50% pullback back down to this wick here at the 30s. Well, I guess it would be here, be your next level down here at the 45s. Oh, you missed it too. Yeah, for some reason, whenever I guess I had my cursor, when I put my cursor on it, I guess I had it. Maybe it was 55. I thought I had it in the right spot, but I guess I just had my cursor a little too high. It should have been at 54, is where it should have been. Because I was thinking it was 55, but it looks like it dropped down a little bit for what we were looking for. Excuse me. Whew. But I won't take it the second time. Like I said, whenever I look for like little bounces off those targets like that, I only try it one time. I won't try it again. Just because that second time usually doesn't work very well and it ends up going through the, going through the moon or something. So you don't want to be on the wrong side of that. I feel like you get one good bounce. That second bounce is usually very iffy, and the third bounce is kind of like hope and prayer. Like, is this going to hold? Then next thing you do, it's like off to the races. You have another resistance level possible at 61, and that's your midnight candle. We just use prop firms only. We don't use real cash. Maybe one day we'll get to the point where we're using real money, but just prop firms. I think that would add another layer of stress with cash. Just using prop firms funded can be kind of, a little stressful if you have to buy expensive prop firm accounts. But for cash, I'd probably even be even a little bit more on the stressful side of cash. It would be nice to get to that point one day where we're using our own profits and you don't have to worry about all the stupid rules and what goes on with the prop firms. The only reason why I like prop firms is because I know how much money I'm risking whenever I trade a prop firm. Where if I'm trading my money and I go tilt one day and lose all my money because I'm, just have a tilt day. But with a prop firm, if I have a tilt day, I know I'm either going to lose 15 to 20 bucks or I'm going to lose $100. And, that's just how much you got invested in that account. I'm not sure how that works with people with their real money if they have as many tilt days like they do with prop firms. So I don't have that experience to tell anybody, or I don't know anybody's ever really talked about it, or I've never heard anybody talked about it. I've heard of people talk about losing money trading cash, but I don't think I've ever heard people ever talk about having a tilt. That's why I like trading with Bulanox. They don't really have any rules. The only rules you got to worry about with Bulanox is the 40% consistency rule on the fundeds. And that doesn't affect me because I don't ever try to make that much money in one trade. Because you would either have to go in really heavy or catch a really big trade. So here's that other resistance that we were talking about at that midnight candle. It's at 664. Yeah, there are some of those rules with the prop firms that are just insane, man. I know very. I mean, I use very little different. Like I stick with the same prop firms that I've been trading for a while. Because was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. I feel like I can't remember. It was the company Fast Track that screwed me out of. They screwed me out of affiliates and payouts. But I guess I'm glad they didn't pay me out because now everybody that's gotten payout in the last 90 days, they're all asking for it back. Yeah, it's I think it has. I thought it had a B in it. Did it have a B in it? Let's see. Yeah, it has a B in it. I was like, did it have a I in it? Yeah, I don't know if anybody in this lobby has gotten stuck with, whenever, what is it, Fast Track file bankruptcy, the bankruptcy courts are going after the people who got payouts. I don't know if anybody else, I don't know if anybody in the lobbies have heard that. I think I know of at least three other streamers that's got payouts from Fast Track that they're trying to recruit the bankruptcy courts are trying to recruit the money. Which you said 8:30 to 8:40. Let's see. That candle. Oh, 6:40. So would that be 7:40? No. What's up, John? What's up, John Carter? Well, dude, you got to give me some free accounts to give away, man. We don't have no free accounts. Did you go down the zip line today? Did you lose all your money in the casinos? Oh, you're about to go eat. You haven't gambled yet. Very, very possibility off that 63 level. It didn't quite get up to that midnight candle 64. Miss over there in the other lobby, Paco. Paco was saying, he was saying exclamation cash. Oh my goodness. He didn't want to send anything, man. He's gonna give his money to Vegas. He don't want to give it to us to use. Let us go gamble, Methodical. Let us go gamble. Oh goodness. I'm sorry, man. Are you talking about the ones? So you're talking about the 240 candle here. That one it hit up at the 254? Guys, like I said, I have to run a quick errand, so this was probably going to be the end of my trading session this evening. That's why we got on a little earlier, so that we could at least trade for a couple hours. But we'll be back in the morning, more likely. So, got to take the wife a few items because she is staying up there at the hospital tonight. Now draw a line at the 640s. Now, are you meaning like 640 Eastern time? Or the Central time? Dude, that was the same level we hit last night before we sold off. Oh, the price. $640. Okay, I kept thinking of time. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you're talking about this big wick right here, correct? Don't tell me if he can trade on his phone. Oh, goodness. I think they're about to go out to eat. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I had to run a errand for the wife this evening. So I have to go gather things. Good luck the rest of the night. Man, my bull bear line is at 63. That would have been another line up there at the 54 if the 54s is going to hold. Yeah, the previous day open close, at least per my indicator, that's where that's at. Yours could be a little bit different depending on what time you draw your opening close. The opening may be the same, but the close may be a little different. Oh, you said see how the 8:30 p.m. and the 8:30 wicks don't touch. Let's see. Yeah, for the gap fill in there, the imbalance gap. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will be back in the morning. Thank you, and everyone have a safe, great evening. Hopefully, you don't get your account wrecked this evening. I have to head out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Nick. And we will see you guys in the morning. Keep your account safe. Remember, tomorrow, if you are trading, tomorrow is OPEC Friday. So, tomorrow, a lot of your options are going to come to close. So, the price action could be get kind of wild or choppy tomorrow.